All right, Team Adams training, April 2nd. Wow, that happened fast. 2018. Welcome, everybody. Excited to see everyone on. It's great beginning of the month. So I was having some computer troubles. I wanted to get a bunch of the rank ups for this last month and celebrate some people. So we'll do that maybe another time, or we'll do that. I don't know when we'll do that, but we'll do it. But the couple people I do see that are on, so Shelly Strawman hit executive director last month, which is exciting. Yay! Here, Shelly, you want to unmute real quick and just, I don't know, talk about that for a second? Where are you at? And keep moving.
I'm right here.
Oh, there
I'm
you go.
unmuted.
Awesome.
Last month just kind of blew me away. I honestly, it happened way before I even realized. I think I hit executive director before the middle of the month.
Which is a great goal to have, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm hoping that this month is gonna, be as strong. I just signed somebody new up tonight, so
congrats.
I don't know. We're just living the dream, helping people, and my husband's living out loud at work. Finally, he's starting to wear some shirts that fit him.
Well, I don't think he has a choice of living out loud. Like, people are just gonna notice.
Right? He's melting in front of their faces. So
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to put you on the spot. We had a conversation today with Tammy, correct?
Yep.
And a couple of people fell off. And now, though, you just signed somebody new up. So
yep.
Here's a little lesson in that. Like, people are going to fall off. And I expect 10% of our frontline business to fall off every month, whether it's somebody quitting, whether it's somebody transitioning, whatever the reason, the wind's blowing the wrong way, why are they decide that they don't want to do it anymore? Maybe they're just not ready. I just expect that now. And I used to get super bummed, and it was like a punch in the gut, and oh my gosh, I got an email saying somebody canceled, and oh no, everything's gonna fall apart. Those couple people, those few people, whatever it is, they don't make or break your business. Even if you had one client and they decided it wasn't for them, that doesn't make or break your business. Because guess what? There are more people out there to help. And there are more people just sitting at home at night on the couch in bed, like literally crying because they can't figure it out. Those people are out there. What we got to do is just stay in the game. And so, Shelly, congrats.
I have to say that I talked to one of my clients today, and she really put something in perspective that people don't realize until they do what she did. But they went on vacation last week, and she just completely dove off program head first. I mean, back to the soda, back to the crap, back to the pizza, back to the junk. And her husband are both on program. And at the end of the week, he looked at her and he said, "You know what? I really feel like garbage." He's like, "I can't wait to get right back on program on Monday," because they just proved it. They just proved the point right to themselves that they were feeling better and doing so much better on program that they didn't want to live like that anymore.
Love that. Sometimes it's that wake-up call. I mean, we've had people come back on program, they did it one time, they did it as a diet, and then come back the second time and just kill it because they're like, okay, something needs to be different. Last time I just did it as just eating the food, losing the weight, and then I went back to what I was doing before. And that's not what we do. Like, we're not a diet plan. We're optimal health program. So it's cool that they saw that, though, that they're like, okay, I like feeling healthier way better than I like junk food.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that quote, nothing tastes as good as healthy feels, or nothing tastes as good as skinny feels, whatever that is. But like, I know for me on this side of health, it's so worth not eating Twinkies and Big Macs and all that stuff. Like, me waking up every day feeling good, not having heartburn, is worth way more than eating a bunch of junk when I want to. So
I can't get Corey Baker's words out of my head. My husband's laughing next to me. But he had a video, and it was an Easter video, and he was talking about peeps and about how he would rather lick a homeless man's foot. I'll never eat another peep again.
There you go. Perfect. Leave it to Corey. I love it. Love it. All right. Thanks. Okay. So then we'll have another one here for sure where, well, she disappeared. Oh, I don't know if she's there in the kitchen. But we're celebrating Kate Van Heist for 3 months in a row, integrated regional director, and to be fully integrated, that takes 3 months in a row, and that's huge. So, Kate, are you available? It looks like you're making dinner to pop off real quick.
Oh, yes, wait, my son just got home, so I'm giving him some food, but I definitely can. You're not going to see me because I'm seeing you on the computer and you're hearing me on my phone because I have to be able to move. So hi. Sorry. So yes, 3 months. Yay! I'm excited. What was the question? I'm listening to my son at the same time.
We're just celebrating you, and if you want to throw down a truth bomb, you could always do that too.
Oh, sweet. I love truth bombs. So yeah. Something that I have definitely learned throughout this is, you were talking to Shelly today, and I wish I could have gotten on that call too, is you really, honestly, truly can want things for other people so much, but until they want it for themselves, will it actually happen? And it's the same thing with this coaching, is like, you really, really want it for yourself, but sometimes you have to just keep doing the action to get there, and it might not happen in the time frame that you want it to, per se, because of course I would have loved to be this rank a freaking year ago, but that was not what was meant to be. What was meant to be is for me to go through trials and tribulations and learn and grow and become the person I am now, which I wasn't a year ago. So, big truth bomb, do what you got to do to get where you want to be, but sometimes it's not exactly what you're expecting to happen in that time frame. So that's my story for today.
Perfect. I love that. The destination doesn't change, but maybe the path along the way does. And you gotta adjust. Awesome. Love that. So actually too, on that, I was talking with a new coach today. She's not on because I believe she is at work. But I was just kind of setting her mindset up for, in the beginning, coaching, sometimes some people take off like a rocket ship. Sometimes some people just need to stick with the consistency, and it might take a little while to get things moving. And I was just explaining that to her because really with coaching in the beginning, we're putting in a lot more work than what we're getting, quote unquote, paid for. Sometimes we're putting in a lot of work and we're not getting paid at all until some clients start coming on. And then somewhere in the middle, we're kind of evening out. We're getting paid exactly what we're putting in. And then eventually we get to this point where we are getting paid way more than the effort that we're putting in. And the way she put it was like, well, I just look at this time frame here as I'm just in training. I'm just doing all I can to learn. And, if you're doing share calls, you're learning how to share. If you're hopping on weekly calls, you're obviously learning from that. And she's like, you start a new job, you've got to go through that training period. And some jobs, you go through that training and you don't get paid. I was like, oh, what a great perspective that is, to know that you're just like, okay, this is my training period. And I know that the results are going to come, and they will, as long as you're consistent with it. And, it's just like the tortoise and the hare, right? Just keep moving forward and you will eventually get there. And so I just love that perspective from her. So beginning of the month, we're here. A lot of times, a lot of people were running like crazy towards the end of the month, and maybe you were trying to reach a rank or whatever that looked like, and it's 11:59 and you're signing up another client at the end of the night and all that stuff, and then you just kind of want to sit back and go, just want to breathe for a second. So don't make that breathing time like a whole week or 2 weeks. This is just like you're building this up. I love to use an analogy of like when you're pumping water. All right, you got one of those old school pumps, and you're pumping the water, and it's finally coming out, and then you stop. Well, what happens? the water starts going down. That's just like what your momentum is. When you stop at the end of the month to the beginning of the month, you take the gas off, it's just going to start coming back down. So I just want to encourage everybody to just stay strong. Don't even think of the months. Like the months are just, whatever shows up on the rank and payment, whatever. Don't even worry about them. Just say, this is just another day. I'm just moving right along. I'm just going to keep this rolling. And a great way to do that, though, is the little map. Has everybody filled out their map yet? No. If you're a brand new coach, you haven't hit senior coach, Debbie, I see you right now. You're like, I don't know what the heck you're talking about. Don't worry about this. You just worry about setting up more share calls like you've been doing. You're doing great. And your mama's going to get healthy pretty soon because she signed up this weekend. So, but if you haven't filled this out, if you've reached senior coach or above, this right here, if it's nothing else except for your mindset for the month where you want to go, then let it be that. But it's also just a guideline to push you through. And I'll be 100% honest, I haven't used this to its full potential in the past. And we were on a call earlier today, and it was for executive directors and above, and Mike Morenz, my buddy Mike Morenz was on. They just hit global director, which is huge. And he is a master of the map. And I'm like, man, I'm going to update this in the 15th of the month. I'm going to make sure that I'm checking everything off and sending it back over, because what a powerful tool this could be. So if you haven't filled out a map, I would suggest getting with your business coach, watching the map video. It's available. Should be in Simple Systems or the Valentine page, I'm sure. Be able to find it. But fill this out. And a great way to do that, though, is to pull up your Connect, look at your Premier orders, only plug in the ones where you know these people are on program, they're fully integrated, they're going to order, they're going to have a good solid order, and then put them down. And, don't put, if you have coaches on your team, don't put coaches. Those don't count. Put clients only on there. And then make sure that your vision isn't just like, okay, my coaches are only coming from clients. Who else can you help? Remember, our trilogy is healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finances. We have people out there that we can help. And so make sure that you're looking at those names too, and just find people to talk to. I mean, that's it. Just have the conversation. And if you need to find some new people, if you're like, no, I'm sorry, but if I'm in your mentorship thread and you say this, I'm going to have to call you on it. If you ever say, well, I just don't have anybody else to talk to, that's not going to fly whatsoever with me. That is, nope, sorry. Survey says, like, readjust your answer there. We have so many people to talk to. Go out in groups. Like, make a list of things that you like. Are you crafty? Do you like to do things like that? Are you a mom? Are you a soccer mom? Are you even pregnant right now? Or maybe you just had a baby? What are some things that you enjoy doing? Are you, like, there's people for certain types of businesses out there. Like, Eileen's a social worker. I'm sure there's groups for social work. I'm sure there's groups, or I know there's groups for dads. I'm in a couple of them. There's groups from dads that work at home. There's all kinds of things. So start making a list of some of those things. Go out on Facebook and find those groups that you like. If you haven't, broken out your spheres of influence in a while, go ahead and do that. Just start with you in the middle, and then just break out. Say, school friends. Like, who'd you go to high school with? Church friends. Do you go to church? Like, who are people at church? Work. I don't know. People, that you know from your kids' sports. People that you know from the gym. Just start breaking those out, and then start writing those names down. And when you start getting those on paper, all of a sudden, these new names start popping up in your head. And these people that you haven't thought of in like 10 years, you're like, oh, hey, yeah, so-and-so. I haven't reached out to them for a long time. And then obviously, if we're doing the 3x3x3, we're adding new friends. We're just creating those relationships. And I just had a share call this weekend with some guy from a dad's group. I don't know him. We friended him, wrote back a couple times, and then he reached out and was like, hey, I'd like to hear about what you're doing. So it's a great way to just get out there, connect with new people, we were just on vacation, and so we connected with a couple that our kids were playing together. So I'm gonna find them on Facebook and Facebook friend them, and it's just another sphere of influence that we're breaking into. But besides that, also I wanted to just talk a little bit about really hitting your goals for the month and what you want to do, and make that a little bit of a stretch goal. Like if you, let's say you were manager this month and you put down you want to be associate director, why not go for director? Make it attainable. So don't put down, if you're a manager, don't put down presidential director, because that's probably not going to happen. But make it something that scares you a little bit. What is it? The BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goals. Like, make it a little bit of a BHAG. Make it a little bit of a stretch. And Tammy, I know you mentioned 3 points today, right? So maybe 3 points is, a point is basically 1,200 in volume, whether that comes from a senior coach, whether it comes from personal clients. So maybe shoot for the 3 points this month. Maybe shoot, if you're already an executive director, maybe you're looking to bring on 2 coaches to help them to senior coach. You need to look at the chat. Let's see. Well, there you go, Tammy. The month you hit national, so you wanted, you put a safe regional, and there you go. So just put something on there that is a stretch. If you shoot for the moon and you land amongst the stars, well, you still move further than you would have otherwise. That's all I got for tonight, guys. We are all here to help you. So if anybody has anything you want to chat about, you want to pop off real quick, and then maybe a couple of the leaders on here if you want to help out answer anything. Otherwise, we'll kind of keep this one a little shorter. But if anybody wants to pop up, Mary, let's come on off. There you go.
There we go.
Got it.
Hey guys, I just wanted to say, I put it in the chat, but literally, I know most of us are pretty around the same area, and we're all trying to grow our business, and everybody's doing amazing. Like, I'm loving watching all of the updates and everybody posting everything on the True Transformation. One thing that I did learn pretty fast, though, was, yes, it can feel like it's your own personal struggle bus when it hits the end of the month and you're watching and it's 11:55 and you're like, who is that person going to call me back? Is that person going to place their order? Are they going to move it to next month? One thing that mentorship did talk to me about was kind of keep that momentum that you just had at the end of last month. Keep it going the beginning of this month. Wait to take your break until next week or the week after. Because
or 2 years from now.
I'm trying to pace myself. I always get in trouble for being too ambitious, Jason. Maybe I get it from you. But seriously, if you guys look at it and you have that momentum and you have that going, that rush, that feeling that you have, and you're doing amazing at your 3, 3, and 3, and you've bumped it to 6, 6, and 6 because you're at that point, keep it going. Keep those people rolling in the beginning of this month, so that way the end of the month isn't so stressful, and you can kind of sit back for 2 weeks and relax a little bit. If somebody does bump their order off into next month, it happens, but it's not going to change where you end in your rank if that's something that pushes you.
Yeah, definitely that is something that you're pushing for too, because I don't want to assume that everybody on here wants to create a bigger business. Maybe you're happy with just a few people, and that's awesome. You're helping people, but most people on these calls are people that want to move forward. So that's kind of why we're speaking at a little higher level. I love that, Mary. But yeah, it's definitely if you can get to your goal sooner in the month, then you don't have that. I don't know if anybody's ever felt this. I have in the past. I will be honest. You're reaching out to that one person because that one person means X amount of dollars to you when you get paid. That's not a good feeling. I hate that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't ever want to have that. So if you can work a little bit harder on your end in the beginning of the month and get to whatever your goal is, especially when you have a team, as somebody has a team, like when you can reach your goal beginning of the month, and then the second half of the month you can focus on your team's goals.
Yeah.
How much better do you show up to them? They're like, oh man, so and so helped me so much to create this at the end of the month, and then you can walk away saying, man, that was awesome. That was
Well,
an
and they
awesome
can do
month.
that for their coaches too, because then they have that time when they've built their business, and it's where they can build at the beginning of the month and help their soon-to-be coaches. So my biggest thing with, even before doing plan, I always said I'm really guilty with procrastinating. And so that's one thing that I have learned with this, that you can't do as a coach. You don't want to procrastinate. So if you can build your business that much faster in the beginning of the month, and then you're more available, and it's easier to help support those people. And don't try to be super coach. I know Kate has said this a million times, and sometimes I wear my Kate hat. Don't try to be super coach, and share that gift, because literally it's something I wish I would have done sooner with a lot of my clients. And just share it. Worst thing it's going to say is, I'm not ready. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Just share the coaching just as much as you share the plan, because I wish I would have shared it more. And you guys are doing an amazing job with it. Brian and Chris, I look at you guys as like a major example of this, because I wish I would have shared it as much as you do, because your team is building and growing, and I'm so happy for you. So just take it, everybody on this, you can learn something from everybody on here.
Yeah, and you walk away. Well, I was having a conversation earlier, like you can walk away from anything and find value in it if you're looking for value in it. You know, if you're like, oh, well, this training, I've heard this all before, but if you come into it with that mindset, you're only going to hear what you've heard before. If you come in the mindset where you're like, I am going to come out of this with some kind of golden nugget that is just going to rock my world, that you are going to be searching for that. It's just like buying the red car and all you see is red cars. It's the same thing when your brain is like, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that's going to help me in my journey. You're going to find it. But if you come in going, oh, well, this is just all the same old info. I've heard it all before. Well, of course, you're not going to hear anything new. All right. Thank you, Mary. That was great. It's good. And just a couple things too, like remember, what we do is all about duplication. So you're ordering the OPTAVIA kits with the Habits of Health. Like we don't do Metafast anymore. Metafast is probably going to go away pretty soon. So why even bother? You know, like this is what we do. We do simple duplication. Everything's the same, and it just flows down. And that part of it, you don't have to worry about trying to clean that up later. Trust me, cleanup is no fun. And if you can get your coaches set from the get-go doing the right actions, number one, is it going to help you? Yes, but it's going to help them tenfold down the line. And so whatever you do, whether you know it or not, people are going to start duplicating it. And whether you say it or not, or you try to hide it, it shows up. And you want to make sure that the good things are showing up. So then that way you see them doing it and you're like, wow, I never even said that, but they're doing it. That's awesome. Instead of going, oh, shoot, they're doing that. I never told them not to, but they're still doing it. So duplication is huge, guys. And just especially those of you bringing on coaches, if you can build that foundation, it's going to create, number one, an amazing business for yourself, but also an amazing opportunity for other people to create a life that they've never dreamed of before. Because there's so many people out there that would want more, but they don't believe that they could have more. And so why don't we offer them something that could help them believe that again? All right, if nobody else has anything else, we will call that a night.
A book suggestion.
Okay, go for it, Brian.
So we started reading a book called Be Big at work, and I like it. I've only got through the first 2 chapters, but if you're looking for something to kind of help you get out of your comfort zone, it's definitely a good quick read to get into. I think I got through the first 2 chapters in maybe 10 minutes or so, but Be Big is what it's called.
Okay, I'm writing it down.
He actually said it would be a good book for me because I'm more of an introvert. So to help me, because I'm the person who walks into the room and like hides versus being the person that walks into a room and is like, hey, I'm here.
You know what though? I'm more of that though. You can be an introvert and an extrovert at the same time.
Yeah.
Like if I'm going into a party or something, I'm probably more likely, I'll be more comfortable just kind of hanging out in the corner, right? You know, with chips and salsa like this in the corner. But I'm also somebody that, you know, loves to like get out and like play games and things like that. So I think you could be both, because Krista, I see you like on Facebook Live and I don't see an introvert. I see you very comfortable. I see you like saying hi to everybody when they're coming out. Like but you're both. So don't just hang on to that identity, because I could see that you have both of those.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks
Oh, Krista, you're never going to live that one down.
I know. That's all right.
Hi, Tammy.
Watch what you say.
Hi, Shelly.
Awesome.
The best part was realizing how many people watched my video.
That was fun. I loved it. All right. Awesome. Okay, anybody else? Got it. Cool. Perfect. Thanks for being on, everybody. Have a great week. Let's rock those maps. Hope to see some flying through your mentorship threads. All right. See ya.